We got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes. I followed my heart, and that's more than what most people can say. And I think when you do that, you get all of the clarity you need, and there's no stone left unturned. You don't have regret.
Once you figure out that they always think that the grass is greener on the other side, guys, you'll figure out how to move. And this is why it's so imperative to get with women that have low body counts. That is why. Their body of work is small, therefore, they're going to appreciate more things from you. And then, keep in mind, guys, this is the natural mind state of women. The grass is greener on the other side. This is the battle that women have with themselves when it comes to trying to strike a balance between finding a guy that's their type, that's attractive, while simultaneously also trying to get that security. She thought she could get that with Kevin Gates, but it didn't work. All right, let's go into the red pill topic real quick, guys. Welcome, punch! So for those of you that don't know, Brittany Renner went ahead and got married to Kevin Gates, right? Kevin Gates is a rapper, the guy that came out with the song here, you know, just so you guys fucking can know who I'm talking about here. It's probably one of his biggest hits here. This right here. I got two phones, one for the plug and one for the load. There you go. That's the song, right? They're obviously fucking with it a little bit so they don't get hit with copyright. So yeah, she ended up marrying this guy. She had converted to Islam, right? And she married Kevin Gates. I'm pretty sure that they more than likely got married Islamically, right? So that they can go ahead and fornicate without, you know, being haram. So here she is detailing that she's been single for a minute.
All right. Real 92.3 Bootleg Kev. My friend Brittany Renner is here. Good to see you, Brittany.
Good to see you too. I was excited when I was like,
and just so you guys know, for those of you that don't know who this woman is, right? I'll give you guys a quick little early life here. I'm probably spelling it wrong, but yeah, this is her right here. So basically, bro, I'll keep it 1,000 with you guys. She became famous for being a 304. Right? Having sex with athletes and shit like that, NBA players and shit. She got a kid from one of these NBA players, I think PJ Washington or some shit. She's 33 years old. She converted to Islam like last year, right? Which, you know, of course they go ahead and have their epiphany in their 30s, right? It's perfect timing, isn't it? So, you know, and they put her as a model, which is kind of funny. I remember I had a discussion with this girl like 2 or 3 years ago on Academic Studio, and I wonder that her ability to find a guy to take her seriously down the road would be very difficult, right? She converted to Islam, right, which is good for her. But what I always tell you guys, the damage is done a lot of the times, chat. The damage is done. You can't turn a 304 into a housewife, my niggas. Just can't.
Okay, I'm Brittany. That's been so
you remember
long.
me?
Yeah. So, first of all, you've
Shit.
I think she admitted on like Shay's podcast she had like a body count of like 35 or some shit like that, which you know there's probably double that.
you know, yeah, there's a lot of changes in your life.
I have. Alhamdulillah for that.
So you were, I tried to give you a hug earlier.
Yes.
And you were like, no,
access denied.
You can't do hugs.
You know.
This is part of your faith.
Yeah, and I mean, just what makes me comfortable. Like,
no,
I don't
know.
you know.
Fuck, I am trying to make you uncomfortable.
No, yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's like...
yeah, very religious people, the women don't even shake a man's hand. You guys have probably seen it before, like religious UFC fighters, they refuse to shake the female commentator's hands. It's not a sign of disrespect, it's just that you're not supposed to touch a woman that you're not married to or a direct family member with.
In my mind, I'm kind of like, why is any man giving me a handshake, a hug?
Yeah,
a
I was
dab?
like, what about and we did this.
We did this.
Air high five.
Because I just feel like there should be no man touching me except my husband.
Mr. Gates.
Only if she had this mindset like 10 years ago.
Yeah. Are you guys married? Or is this like a, yeah, I don't know. How does this, I mean, first of all, Kevin's the best.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep her. He's a great guy. Did you release his semen retention?
Okay, first of all, you asked like 3 questions. So
okay, well, first things first. He was doing semen retention last time I saw him. Has the retention been lifted?
Okay, well, that's a question you'd have to ask him.
Okay.
But we got married April 6th and divorced May 28th.
So you're divorced?
Yes.
Bruh. What, like 50 days?
But there is a 90-day waiting period in Islam where it's basically you have 90 days to see if you're pregnant because then he would be responsible, right? And then also in those 90 days, it's for reconciliation because Allah wants you to stay married. And then during those 90 days, you are not to like entertain anybody romantically. So what I will say is that Islam has made my life a lot easier. I think even with this transition and things changing.
And that's good for her, man. Honestly, bro, I'll keep it 1,000 with you guys. I'm happy that she found God. I really am. But I do think it's important for people to understand that finding God is not going to absolve you of your prior experiences, unfortunately, right? It's not going to absolve you of things you've done in the past that might impact your ability to get things done in the future, right? From the perspective of your relationship with God and you going to heaven, whatever, that's fine. But, you know, that's personal salvation. But what I'm talking about is like you being able to go back and assimilate into long-term relationships, right? After being a 304 is pretty much destroyed. Let's just keep it 1,000, guys. Okay? No chat, she never did porn, but she was basically like, kind of like a celeb groupie, man, to be honest.
No, honestly, it's like, I don't think anybody gets married to not stay married. So I think my biggest thing for me is this is a nice 90-day reset, just focusing on myself and pouring into myself. And what I also will add is that I followed my heart, and that's more than what most people can say in this world. And I have no shame in that. That's why I'm here. BET Awards. As you can see, I'm out here on this blacktop by myself. I followed my heart, and that's more than what most people can say. And I think when you do that, you get all of the clarity you need, and there's no stone left unturned. You don't have regret. And I think that's really what like a lot of people, like their issue is, even just in dating, marriage. It's like people don't give it their all. They don't just go for it, you know? So I feel like, but when you do.
Isn't it interesting that like she's coming to this epiphany in her 30s, chat? Isn't that interesting? Right? Like women always wisen up when it comes to not being 304s, finding a guy, settling down. It's always as their value starts to decline, huh? When they're at their peak, though, 21 years old, hey, world's my oyster. I'm doing everything I want to do. I smash what I want to smash, right? I'm on red carpets. I'm jet flying. I'm limousine ride. Woo, right? Stupid. These bitches be Ric Flair, man, in their 20s. And then they want to go ahead and start chilling out later on.
You're at peace with whatever happens, because it's like I gave 100%. There's nothing, I left it all on the field, on the table, whatever metaphor. But yeah, all is well.
Do you feel like, first of all, what are some of the things for you? Because I feel like we've kind of seen you, I mean, I wouldn't say grow up, but we kind of seen you grow up.
You guys have.
Over the last 10, 12 years, however long it's been since you've been a figure publicly, but
13 years.
Islam, how has it changed you, and how has it kind of helped just with you being a public figure? And like, you know, I feel like it was, we know you to be Brittany Renner, before that Bundle of Brittany, and we know that you got on because of the way you look visually, and now I think when you
in other words,
Islam,
you're talentless, like most other girls, of course.
It took a lot of people off guard, but what are the things that you're able to take from it that, like, you know, are helping you on a day-to-day basis?
I would say just even all of the guidelines and different things that are in place. But I think the biggest thing that has been so freeing for me is I no longer belong to this world. I just don't. And there's just so much peace.
Female, fucking bullshit as usual.
I feel so content. And I just don't feel like a circus animal anymore. So people don't have to.
I don't feel like a circus animal anymore. See, bro, I'm telling you, man, women are keenly aware that behaving like a 304 on the internet is not good. They're keenly aware of this shit, bro. Keenly aware. That's why a lot of them do the religious, backstep.
Respect it. They don't have to like it. I understand people used to jerk off to my pictures and they.
Bruh. Oh, man. Cooked.
Missing my ass cheeks and all that other stuff, and I have a gorgeous head of hair, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, it's like the soul always wants to evolve,
right?
And I feel.
Translation: I can't be a whore all my life. It is not sustainable. We're decoding the womanese, chat. We're decoding the womanese on this one, because let me put you guys to some game real quick, right? So this is a common female tactic, right? And what ends up happening a lot of the times, right? When women hit the wall, one of two things is going to happen, right? So first, let's discuss the wall. Okay, what is the wall? We're going to go do a quick little red pill refresher for you niggas. The wall, guys, is a moment in a woman's life when she starts to realize that her sexual marketplace is perishable. The same type of attention she used to get, the same access that she used to get, starts to drop off a little bit, okay? All of a sudden, now it's a little bit harder to get rich guys to fly you out. Now, all of a sudden, you're getting a little bit more tired when you go to the club. Now, all of a sudden, you kind of want to get into something more serious, right? All of a sudden, you kind of start to get baby rabies. And these are obviously very natural biological responses for women as they age, if they don't have kids, that they're gonna, as they get closer and closer to the 30s, it's a self-defense mechanism. Like, hey, bitch, you're about to be 30. You're 80% of your eggs are about to be gone. Like, come on, make a move, right? So some of this is like human programming to, help women defend against them not being able to have a lineage. Because at the end of the day, guys, we all know that we're put on earth to have children, right? To spread our seed and, have little mini-me's. So with women, they come to this realization a little bit later in life, right? Or sorry, earlier in life. And not only do they come to this realization earlier in life, they come to it through their outside environment, right? Now, one of two things happens. Either A, they wake up and say, damn, I can't do this forever and I need to find a guy. Or B, they double down, accept reality, and then continue to be a 304 well into their 30s, 40s, 50s, right? Now, very few women are able to do the latter, right? Very few. Most women end up having to kind of change their situation and try to find a guy, right? But here's the problem. They gained a bunch of experience, a lot of the times, with higher status men, and they've developed a type, okay? Now, this is important because when women develop a type, what ends up happening is it's very difficult for them to deviate from that type, okay? If you look at a girl, most women, right? And I were to show you their last 5 boyfriends, all of them are going to be very similar, okay? They're all going to be very similar if you look at a girl's past boyfriends. Men, on the other hand, though we might have a type, that doesn't mean that we won't deviate from our type. Women typically are far more rigid in what they like, okay? Now, the problem is when girls have a type, these types tend to be men that have high sexual market value, but very bad parental investment or parental value. Does that make sense? Because most men, if given the opportunity to have multiple women, typically don't settle down. And they don't make good parental fathers. Their sexual market value is high because they're able to establish these bad boy tendencies and shit like that. But they might not be necessarily the best person to have a relationship with. And this is the conundrum that a lot of women end up in, where they've dealt with a certain caliber man, a certain type of guy. That's what they're attracted and aroused by. But then they realize that this guy might not be conducive to a longer term relationship. Okay, the smart ones at least figure that one out. The idiots just keep banging their head against the fucking wall thinking like they're going to turn one of these guys into a Prince Charming. And then they kind of enter a fork in the road where it's like, okay, I'm ready to change. I no longer want to be on the carousel, but the guys that are good guys are boring. And the reason why she knows that the good guys are boring is because she's been with the bad boys. And the reason why I tell you guys to get with women that have lower body counts, preferably a virgin if you can, right, is because the less bodies a woman has, the less likely she is to develop bad habits. Does that make sense, chat? I want you guys to really understand this. This is very important. I'm not telling you guys to get with girls that are low body counts and virgins because I want you guys to be on some weirdo shit. No. It's because she has a smaller body of work to compare you to other men with, man. That is the key. Okay? This is why women that have low body counts are so fucking important to have, right? The lower the body count, the lower her body of work. The lower her body of work, the more she'll appreciate you. Does that make sense, chat? This is why it's so imperative. Because the more partners a woman has, the more likely she is to get a type, the more likely she is to want to be with that type, and then the more likely she is to compare you to that type if she does decide to take a chance on you and you're not her typical avatar. I need you guys to understand this. If there's one thing you guys learn from this stream, right? I want you to take this with you guys. Women always, 99% of the time, almost always, think the grass is greener on the other side. I'm gonna say that again. This is life-saving advice for some of you niggas in here. I'm dead ass. I'm fucking serious. This is some life-saving advice. Understand this. If you could take one thing from this fucking stream, besides the Iran war and Brittany Renner being a 304 and riots, also, women always think the grass is greener on the other side. This is precisely why it's easier for them to break up with you. This is precisely why they get over relationships faster. This is precisely why they initiate most of their breakups This is precisely why they behave the way that they do and they don't respect male authority and they feel as though no one can touch them. Once you guys understand that, right, that they think that the grass is always greener on the other side, yeah, we're going to have them on for after hours, niggas. Once you figure out that they always think that the grass is greener on the other side, guys, you'll figure out how to move. And this is why it's so imperative to get with women that have low body counts. That is why. Their body of work is small, therefore, they're going to appreciate more things from you. The more partners a woman has, the more chances she has to compare you to some other nigga that did better than you. And then, keep in mind, guys, this is the natural mind state of women. The grass is greener on the other side. You guys want to know what social media does to that? You guys want to know what the internet does to that? You guys want to know what dating apps does to that? You know what it does to that? It makes it 10 times worse. Women already had this mindset that the grass is greener on the other side. But then if you add, think of this grass is greener on the other side. Think of it as like a fire, okay? It's a fire, the female fire. Women always think they could do better, grass greener on the other side. Cool, that's the natural state of things. That's naturally hypergamy. Now, let's add in Instagram, kerosene. Now, let's add in fucking dating apps, more oil. Now let's add in fucking clubs, burning logs. So that little fire that you had, now it's exploded. Now it's a real dumpster fire. The whole block is on fire now. So social media has exacerbated all the bad traits of modern day females. This grass is greener on the other side. Now they actually believe it because they open up their phone and they see all these dudes hitting them up. I'm good. Why do you guys think so many women flake on dates? Why do you guys think so many women don't respect men? Why do you think so many women are insufferable? It's because their egos are propped up from social media. So they always think that they can do better. And someone like Brittany Renner, to bring this back full circle for you guys, she was one of those women. Luckily for her, she woke up a little bit too late though, because the reality is, like I said before, women can't be hoes forever. They really can't. So this is the battle that women have with themselves when it comes to trying to strike a balance between finding a guy that's their type, that's attractive, while simultaneously also trying to get that security. She thought she could get that with Kevin Gates, but it didn't work. Because, like I told you guys before, Brittany Renner is cooked. You want to know why? She's dated millionaires, athletes, celebrities. Nobody qualifies for her anymore. So since no one qualifies for her anymore, she's still going to date these top-tier guys. But these top-tier guys are going to have other bitches. So she's always going to be like a side chick to a degree. And this is the curse of dealing with higher status men. It's a curse. I'll be honest with y'all, bro. It's a curse for women.